Hi, Jason.
Hi,
How are
Josh.
you?
I'm good, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, thank you. And so excited to talk to you for this series because I got to bring up the ambush in the snow. I know you're no stranger to action, but obviously working with Sam Hargrave on
Oh,
that, you're out in
Captain
the
America
open.
himself.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, how was that? And what kind of challenge was it to be out in those conditions in what looked like a really intense sequence for you?
It's an incredibly challenge. The amount of work that goes into that is crazy. The
Yeah.
danger and the difficulty involved in that is crazy. There's so many moving parts. And it's a live situation, and there is no room for not even the smallest mistake. And so you have to bring a level of believability and reality to it, as well as a level of focus of, okay, the camera's here, I'm moving there, and be confident so that everyone can feel your confidence, because nervousness, people pick up on it. Um, Hargraves is extraordinary. He really is. He's rightfully regarded as one of the best stuntmen ever, in some of the greatest stunt sequences, committed to celluloid, and he knows how to shoot it. And he's got an insane team with a great camaraderie and a great skill set. And that was one of the pleasures, man. And I'm glad to have committed it. And I can now add my name to those, people that have been able to do that and have done it. It was a real tick of the box for me.
Oh, that's awesome. And I think it's really interesting with Frank how dismissive the CIA are of him. They kind of think he's this country guy who doesn't know what he's doing, but we see he is very capable. And, he's obviously forced to work with Sydney, who's quite a shady character. So, what did you enjoy about exploring that dynamic, particularly obviously having worked with Haley before as
Yeah,
well?
look, I love that. I love Frank. He's comfortable being the underdog. He's comfortable knowing that, what, at the beginning of a fight, he's going to cop a few. You know what I mean? And he's prepared to cop a few. He's prepared to give a bit of skin to get a bit of skin, and that's the way he is. But he's if you knock him down, he's going to get back up. I'm no Jean Claude Van Damme, or I'm no, and we discussed that with Sam. You discussed the style of how it's going to be. We didn't want it to be slick. We wanted to be, some old school, so that you begin to learn, that you earn and learn the character through the action, through the drama, through the speed of these 10 days that this story unfolds. And then Haley just brings such a magnetic quality of, you feel like you're forever poking through the mist to see who she really is and what she's really up to. And she gives you glimpses and then shuts it and then moves it. And it was essential to playing somebody in the CIA who needs that. You're never really sure of where they're at or what they're after, or who they answer to, and what their motives are, because she's also brilliant at coercion.
Yeah, it's a fascinating dynamic, as
It
is the one
is.
that Frank has with Havelock. And obviously, at the end of that first episode, there's a tease where he pulls Frank into his orbit. So,
Yeah.
what were you
Oh, he pulls
excited about?
Frank right into his orbit. Yeah. I mean, I like that. Frank's this whole story. As you lean into Frank, you're with him. He's behind the eight ball. It's just ahead of. There's no sense of like calm. It's momentum the whole way through, and each episode is a cliffhanger, and you're with Frank as it slowly starts to unfold, and then you realize at a certain point, out there that oh my God, I'm way out in the ocean, man, and it's everywhere around me. I'm in deeper than I thought. And it was great to play. It really was.
Yeah, and I can imagine for you as an actor, it must be so beneficial to have these 10 1 hour episodes to really delve into who Frank is and to explore those relationships too.
Yeah, to not have to explain it, to let it kind of develop and let it, reveal it as it happened, rather than, you see Frank, you feel Frank, it's that's how the character opens up, and the story does as well. John's writing, there's so much to peel back, and he peels it back, you know, like an expert, like somebody who wrote the Blacklist. He knows what he's doing.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, thank you so much. I love this series and I cannot wait for people to see where it goes. So thank you again for taking the time. It's been such a
Thank you
pleasure
very
speaking to
much,
you.
mate. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.